Hi, Adrian Ficcioni from Fetch Fitness. Today I wanted to cover an exercise that you won't typically see in a gym, but it's an exercise that I give most of my sort of 40s and over clients because it has a couple of sort of major benefits. Firstly is that it's extremely useful in terms of developing some good technique for everyday activities, which would be bending over and picking up things or having to do repeated activities when you're in a bend over position. But secondly, it also then starts to target some of these physical attributes that we start to lose or get sort of less good at as we particularly get older. Now, the exercise itself is what I call a squat and reach. So let me give you a demonstration and then I'll sort of spend a bit more time talking about it. So all a squat and reach activity is I'm in this position like this, which I'd call a sumo squat. And then what I do is I do a particular contraction, I reach out, I try and touch, and then bring back to my recovery position. And then I repeat, I reach out, and then I come back to my recovery position. Now, this exercise is good for a number of reasons. Firstly, what it does is it teaches pretty good bend over squat technique, which is something that you can then apply to sort of everyday activities. Secondly, it works on keeping your pelvis in the right position when you're going to do some sort of bent over activity. And we often see as we get older and we start to lose flexibility through in particular our hamstrings, and we're just not so mobile, that a lot of our bending over takes place at the lower back rather than actually taking place at the hips where it should take place. Thirdly, what we do is this activity starts to teach good abdominal bracing and core preparation for any sort of exercise when you're going to bend over. And then finally, it targets a physical attribute I call strength at range, which is your ability to be strong at ranges that we start to lose as we get older. People start to really struggle to be able to squat down at all. And if you can't squat down, certainly through your pelvis, all the work's got to take place through your lumbar spine, which then becomes problematic. So what are the steps to the exercise? So there's a few things. First, you get into, again, what I would call a sumo squat position, and you go down as far as you can. In time, you obviously want to be able to get down very deep. Now, this activity or this position by itself, without any support, is pretty hard on the quads and the lower back and the glutes in that area, but by placing your elbows onto your thighs, you immediately take all the load off your lower back. That's a real key to this particular movement and this position because it allows you to spend some time down here without putting your back at risk. So that's the first part, that's the squat component. And then the reach component is you do two things. You squeeze your butt first, so we're really protecting and getting our sort of pelvis in the right place and keeping that stationary. Then you're going to do an abdominal brace, and then at that point in time, once you've done those two contractions, you then take your hands off, you reach out as far as you can. If you're strong enough, you can bend forward, and then all the activity is taking place through my glutes and my quads and my hamstrings rather than my lower back, and then I bring my elbows back to my recovery position. Have a short rest, stand up if you need to, then repeat. Glutes, abdominal brace, reach out, light touch, come on back, and then you can stand. And then what I've done there is I've fully protected my lower back, so I'm starting to teach the right motor patterns that I need to contract prior to doing any bending over, pulling, lifting, or moving type of activities. And I've then also obviously started to strengthen these areas further, which then makes me better at doing that activity over time. Now, one final aspect of this, which is probably a more practical, particularly if you want to spend a lot of time down in that position doing a particular activity, whether it be wiping or cleaning or pulling weeds or whatever, is if you go into that position, what you can do is you can put all your weight on one arm. So if I do my glute squeeze, a bit of abdominal brace, and I put all my weight on my arm, I've still fully protected my lower back. I've not had to work so hard through my glutes and through my hips, and I can still do this activity if the activity allows you to do it with one hand. So again, it's not your typical gym exercise, but it is an exercise that really has the kind of benefit of teaching good technique for day-to-day activities, but also then targeting some of those physical attributes that we really start to lose as we get older.